Betsy and Thomas here for the American Intelligence Media. Thomas, I get so many emails these days of folks who are sending us a reminder that 3 years ago you were talking about the very things that are unfolding in the news today. And I know you like to say that you predicted it, but I know that it wasn't a prediction. What it is hard work, research, getting to the truth, and then letting those facts tell us what we see. Thomas, what were you saying 3 years ago that people are seeing today?
Well, what even lamestream media is saying, Obamagate. Obama knew. Not only Obama knew, but he directed all the intelligence agencies. We pointed all that out. So many things are yet to come that we have pointed out. But the things that have come are actually the minimal amount. That's the minimal. That's like nothing compared to what will come when the truth actually comes out. So what we're seeing here is that from the beginning, this is a globalist attack against someone who was a populist and a nationalist, and that's really what's being fought. Globalism on a worldwide scale, and now the pharmaceutical companies have turned it into an open vaccine war. It was already a vaccine war and a pharmaceutical war going on against our bloodstream. Every person in the world that is subjected to allopathic medicines, and the World Health Organization, which is not about health at all. It is about control. And so that's what we're seeing. And we're also seeing, of course, then the last-ditch attempt, the very last bomb that they have, which is the pharmaceutical bomb. And they're dropping it on Trump to see if they can stop him from getting elected and destroy the good work he's done. When we talk about an update here in quarantine land, which is pharmaceutical martial law, that has been placed upon the whole world, everyone's waking up from it and saying, how did that happen? They probably don't even know anyone who died from it. And let me just run you through a few statistics that should be enough to boil your blood. Go to the CDC and look up, if you can find it, it's very hard to find, their statistics, their best statistics for deaths over the coronavirus, flu, pneumonia, and then what they call the combination of pneumonia and coronavirus. And what you'll see is when they advertise today all over the world, 88,000 deaths in America, that is not true. If you go there, you're going to find out, they're going to say 60,000 deaths from coronavirus. And then they're going to say 6,800 influenza deaths. Well, that's last year, there was 80 to 90,000. So coronavirus came in and it healed us of the normal flu, the normal influenza. Is that what they're saying? So coronavirus caused an amazing reaction for the first time since they started recording these statistics that the influenza, since 1918, the first time it's ever been that low. Well, you can see what they've done. Then they have a category for pneumonia, which is basically up to the normal amounts. But if they had any coronavirus in them, then it is attributed to coronavirus. Every statistic they give you is a mix and match, lie, fraud, fake, between fake coronavirus numbers, pneumonia and coronavirus deaths, and flu deaths.
Well, that's what propaganda is. Propaganda consists of lies, deceits, obfuscations, misdirection, incomplete information, anything to keep you from looking at the truth. And this is why it's important that we have accurate numbers and everything is done in a scientific way.
The more tests they give, the more people they say are infected. Those tests are bogus. The ones sent out by the CDC to the states are fake. They have so many false positives that they're useless. So in other words, what they want is higher numbers of people infected to get you more scared. And then they have to have higher death rates, and so they add on pneumonia death rates, flu death rates to coronavirus. Here's what really happened. The second that they got Trump to acknowledge that this was a pharmaceutical attack on America, and that's really what it is. That's why he called it the invisible enemy, and he called it the plague. The plague is the pharmaceutical companies and the vaccine makers. And he doesn't intend for anybody to have to get the vaccine. He says it's completely optional, and the $138 million given to Apoject is simply for the injection, and then to follow that injection, if you have a phone and if you comply and if you sign on to this, they'll follow you, and you'll get notifications anytime you're near anybody who's ever been shown as actually having coronavirus.
Okay, well, you say that with a happy voice, and that is not. We have to just make sure that folks know that he has not said that there are going to be mandatory mandatory vaccinations, but he is using the Department of Defense as a supply line chain to get the vaccines out to everyone, and also to take control of all this vaccine narrative away from Fauci and the globalists like Bill Gates. So that's a good thing, but he has said that not everybody's going to want this, and that's correct. Not everyone will, and we are totally against it. We encourage you to educate as many people in your circle of influence that you can of what's going on.
Well, first off, the CDC keeps track of every number turned in from a death certificate, and what they say is the following. Well, first off, a death certificate, they literally say on their site, I just read this minutes ago, and every time I read it, it makes me very upset, that they state that their statistics could be a week or two, even 2 months behind. And that the reason for that is because doctors don't fill out death certificates sometimes for a month or two after the death. That's a lie. A doctor fills out a death certificate almost immediately, get the exact right time, the exact right causes. No, that's a lie. So they send the information to the CDC. Well, if the CDC wants to fudge the numbers, they simply don't report what has been sent to them. Now they send $13,000 to every single doctor and the hospital or the clinic they work for that says that someone died of coronavirus, because they're collecting data. Oh, they're collecting that data. So they have to have $13,000 to pay that doctor to inform the CDC of whether or not that person died of coronavirus.
So they're paying the doctors to lie.
Completely, 100%. And then if they go on a ventilator, the CDC gives them $39,000. That is the reason New York and Cuomo and de Blasio and all those crooked New York people wanted so many ventilators so that they could use them. And what happened? They did a study and they found out, over 80% of the people put on ventilators died because of the ventilators. But they got $39,000 per patient that they sent the information into the CDC. That's how crooked it is, folks.